Welcome to A Slice of Therapy. This podcast was created with Anchor. And if you've not heard of Anchor, let me explain. It's free. It's a really easy way to make a podcast. And it helps me because I can just do this every day directly into my phone, because there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. So if you fancy making a podcast too, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. The thing about life is that we all have our low points in life, don't we? We all have those times of life where we feel kind of really stuck at the bottom of a valley. And in fact, never mind just in life, in any given week, there'll be the point in that week where we were at our lowest. Because, like everybody, we ebb and flow. And so in any given week or month or even day, we'd have a part of that period of time where things felt the hardest for us, where our mood was the lowest, where we were most in some sort of a rut. And the thing that I always find interesting about the fact that we've been in low points before, whether we're in one now or not, the fact that we've been in low points before, and we will have done, even if you just kind of view that as a relative thing, that sometime was lower than another. But the fact that we've been in these low points before is useful, as I see it, because what will have happened is that we got into that low point and then moved beyond it, got out of it, moved to a point that's higher than that one. What tends to happen to us in life is that when we hit a low point, we don't simply stay at the very same low point forever. We kind of move up a little bit. Sometimes we'll even get out of it completely for a while. And then maybe we'll hit another low point. But whenever we're in a low point that we've got out of, it's not so much the getting into the low point and kind of what triggered it that I'm necessarily thinking of as useful. What I think is useful is to notice that we did get out of it. To notice that even though we got into a place where we felt at our lowest, where things were at their most challenging, that we managed to get out of it. And that says something about us, doesn't it? That we can get into such a rut and get out of it. And so as you look back on your life and you think of those low moments, or even like I said before, if you look back just at this past month and think of the lower moments, when you actually get out of it, it proves something. It proves that there is a certain resilience about you that you did. It shows as well that there is something that you do in low moments that helps you get beyond it at some point. Now, you may not know what that is straight away. It will probably take a little bit of reflection. But my question would be, how did you do that? How did you, in the midst of one of your lowest points, say this month or this year, or even in terms of your life generally, while in one of those lowest points, how on earth did you manage to get yourself back out of it again? Because in that question is your toolkit, your very personal toolkit of how to get out of a low point, how to bounce back, in other words. That is your bounce back toolkit. Once you're able to say, yes, I was down there and I got out of it, And I'm going to take some time to figure out how on earth I actually did that. Now, often when I ask about this bounce back ability that we have, what people will often point to is some external thing, something that's not them. They might say that the economy got better, or they might say that the weather improved, or they might say that there was some external event that helped somehow. And that was the thing that got them out of it. And what I would ask in that situation is, okay, but in addition to those, what was it that you did that ensured that you actually took advantage of that? Because stories abound, don't they, of people who are stuck in that low place, as we often feel, and some opportunity came, but that they didn't take it, or they didn't make the most of it, or the sunshine came out and they didn't actually take full advantage of the sunshine and do something that made the most of it, but they just stayed in the same place. Those stories exist too. And so even if on reflection you think back to those moments where you bounced back, and in that reflection you notice yourself starting to give the credit to all of these external events, then I'd invite you to have a pause there and ask yourself, what did I do to make the most of that external event? What did I do that ensured that I didn't get in the way of that external event's magic? What is it that I did that ensured that I helped that external event along the way to making life better for me? Because the great thing about bouncing back, as we've all done at certain points in our lives, is that when we bounce back, there is things that we did that helped us do that. It might be something about you. It might be something about your character. It might be something about your inner refusal to hit the floor and stay there. It might be something about your determination, or something about you, some grit or characteristic that means that you're going to get yourself out of it eventually. Or it might be a set of strategies, things that you noticed that you did that got you out of it. And it might be, I started walking the dog. Or it might be, I went on a bike ride. Or it might be, I started to see friends. Or it might be that I began to paint. Or that I remembered how therapeutic my guitar is. It'll be all sorts of things to all sorts of people. But there'll be something there that you did that helped you to bounce back. And so the great benefit of having been at a lower point is that you'll have lots of experience of being in a low point and yet having come out of it. And in that, you can identify how you did it, what it is about who you are that got you there, and the various things that you did that just helped you along the way. And so that's my invite to you, I suppose, to have a look back to those times where you were at a lower point, knowing that you came out of it, to start building your own sense of what your already proven strategies have been in order to help you to bounce back. So if you find this useful, please pass it on and share it with somebody else to get the benefit. If you'd like to work with me directly, Alun Parry, you can find me at liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk. And if you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, please do, because it's free. And There'll be a podcast out every single day. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back once again with another one tomorrow.